Hello and welcome to your messages for the month. So these are the messages for the month of March 2023. So they're falling out readily. Take a nice deep breath to activate your own intuition. And we'll see, well, falling out, absolutely falling out. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's just see if there's anything else coming out. Anything else for March 23? Thank you. I think that's the last one. Brilliant. 6 came out and they're all face down. I haven't got a clue, but they wanted to come out, didn't they? What's interesting, I don't really know what's going on astrologically. I know it's relevant and important. As I said before, I'm not an astrologer, but what I'm picking up from the cards, from the numerous readings that I do, is that something big is happening in March, or something big is happening in the spring of 23. And it's kind of interesting because I had that same kind of message in 2020. I kind of knew that there was big change coming in March or in the spring of 2020. I didn't know what it was exactly, but I wasn't wrong, was I? Now, whereas the changes that happened in March 2020 were they were massive changes, but they were very much on a collective level. What I'm kind of picking up from the cards is that it still is major change that's coming for March, but it's going to be on a more personalized, individual level this time. And I think that makes perfect sense because, of course, it's bringing us within and bringing us to our understanding that we are the creators of our own reality. And if we want to change something on the outside of us, which a lot of us might want to do, it's giving us the awareness that we can do it, that we have that power, that the outside is a reflection of the inside. So we actually can change our reality, ourselves energetically, by changing ourselves energetically. So I think that's what it's all about. That's what's happened in the past 3 years. That's the Great Awakening. As I've often said, it's not just about waking up to the reality of the reality and the density of the matrix, of the physical world, of the 3D illusion, or however you want to refer to it. But it's about waking up to our power as individuated souls of source, and really appreciating and embodying that knowledge and that quantum truth, that the energy, the creative force that made the mountains, the seas, the animals, the trees, all of that, that's us. That's the energy that we are, and realizing that power, that's what this is all about. So I think the changes that are coming, and we had for this week, the first week of March, for Sunday's messages, there was a major transformation was coming in. So I think it's all relevant, but I do think it's on an individual level more now than it was 3 years ago. So having said that, let's dive in. Everything falling into place. This is the luckiest card in the deck. The 8 of Wands. Wands is action in the physical world. It's also fire, it's transformation, and everything falling into place. This is because you now understand that you are the creator of your own reality. And you understand that when you get with the right people and you follow your heart, the changes that have happened in the past 3 years are all a blessing. And when you can look at everything in the world as a blessing, because it's taking you to dreams that you didn't know you had, that's what's going to really, really lift us. And that's when everything's going to fall into place. You see, it's like arrows all falling into place. It means that obstacles and delays have been removed. The biggest obstacle was us not realizing that we have the power, that we are the creators, because that comes with a level of consciousness. And of course, most of us, have experienced some kind of acceleration in our frequency and in our level of consciousness in the last 3 years. And look, the Lover's card. Now, because 6 came out, I've got one underneath the other, so I'm playing with the idea of the bottom one clarifying the top one. We'll see at the end if that really works or not. It does sometimes and then not others. So I'm just kind of playing with that. But the lovers has come out underneath this, and this is a reminder that self-love is everything. Self-realization and self-love, being spiritually guided, and realizing that loving yourself is everything. And also understanding that when you love yourself and do what you want, it's actually the opposite of selfish. People think that it's selfish. It's actually the opposite of selfish, because when we love ourselves, we expand into higher levels of consciousness and we raise our frequency to that of love. And when we do that, we create a reality of love. Therefore, our children and our partners and our friends and everyone around us is going to benefit from that frequency. They cannot not, they cannot not benefit, because they have to reflect your frequency back to you. Everybody and everything outside of you is reflecting back your frequency. So when you can hit the frequency of love, everything outside of you will be, resonating at that frequency. You will have loving people, loving activities, loving places. Everything will be, that's how we create heaven on earth, by loving ourselves. That's the way to do it. I'm going to go off on one when it comes to self-love. If you are new to all of this and you've just come across this video, check out my website, deborahjanesutton.com, and on that homepage, you can find a free copy of my first book, Heal Yourself to Happiness. I'll put a link in the description, because that will help you understand how to raise your frequency, the importance of loving yourself, so much more as well. But I just wanted to get that out there. So the next one, yeah, look, we've got a new path, a new abundant path. And this is, to me, this is perfect, because part of loving ourselves is, if you're in a job that you hate, you're not going to expand into more of who you are. You're not going to be creating heaven on earth by going to a job that you hate every day. And I'm not saying you walk out and do anything irresponsible, of course not, but you do put into motion, because look, the delays and have been removed. The blocks and delays have been removed. So there is opportunity now, new avenue, new abundant avenue. There's opportunities now by loving yourself. Do what you love. Treat yourself. Do what you love. So there's going to be a lot of people leaving jobs, I think, this month, leaving jobs that are not serving them, leaving the 9 to 5 job or whatever it might be, whatever hours, the job that you feel a slave to, the job that you feel that you have to do in order to put food on the table. And it's a leap of faith. It's going to be a leap of faith needed in order for you to do that, of course. But you need to be open to that. You need to be open to the miracles. You need to be open to how your frequency is creating your reality. So if you're going to that job is lowering your frequency, your abundance, this is the abundance pentacles. I mean, it's typically business, career, finance, but for me, it's abundance activity, because we want to have that financial security along with the joy, the health, the happiness, the love, and everything else. So all of that is connected to your frequency and not to your bank account. So hopefully understanding that as a quantum truth will help you with that leap of faith from leaving a job that isn't serving you. It could be a relationship that isn't serving you. You might see your partner now in a different light. No judgment. We don't have to judge anybody. We don't have to judge our bosses or our partners or anybody. We just need to feel in our heart, is it serving us? Is it expanding me? Do I have freedom? Do I feel secure and free? You might feel nervous when you take a leap of faith, of course you do, but it's that beautiful, excited feeling when you know that you're jumping off a cliff. Sorry, you know what I mean. It's that excited feeling when you're doing something that you know is right for you, but it's a bit of a gamble, right? But you just know. And sometimes you get to that stage where you the risk it took, who was it that said, Anaïs Nin, that said the risk it took to remain tight in a bud was greater than the risk it took to blossom. So that, I think a lot of people are going to be leaving relationships and leaving work and moving house and doing various things like that, because there is a new avenue that's coming in because of all these things that are falling into place. So I think you know what it is, that with what it's talking to, what it's referring to for you personally. There's just a different way. This is a different, the level of self-love, you know, it starts off by leaving a relationship that isn't serving you, leaving a relationship that where you're walking on eggshells, a toxic relationship, anything like that, leaving it, that's an act of self-love, of course. Leaving a job that just makes your heart sink every time you go. Obviously being able to find something else to do. So that's going to include and involve tapping into your spiritual gifts, tapping into your spiritual gifts. And your spiritual gifts lie in whatever it is that you love doing, whatever creative activity it is that you love doing, that inspiration that you feel your pastime in. That's going to be where you're going to find your divine gifts and your new abundant channel. You may not be able to see how you're going to make money by doing it, but you need to start doing it. Because you definitely won't make money if you don't start doing it, if money is an issue for you. But it's a now or never. I'm getting, that's what I'm feeling, because I've been saying this message for so long now. But really it's a now or never now, I think, for you guys, well, for all of us. Yeah, look, this is that, to me, he's looking out over the shores of heaven on earth. He's also a collaboration card. So this could involve collaborating with other like-minded souls. And you'll need the collaboration of your tribe to help promote yourself and to help share whatever services you have to offer, and to help you set up in this new paradigm. So the twos are a decision, and the threes are the fruition that comes from having made a decision. Now, a lot of people get really nervous and anxious before they make a decision. Like, I remember a lot of people said to me, you know, when you say that, you know, you got divorced or something, people think, oh, that must be so traumatic getting divorced. And I remember, because I was divorced for my first marriage, and I remember thinking, it's not the divorce that's traumatic, it's the marriage that's traumatic. The divorce is the freedom from the marriage. So this is what this card is saying, because the two is the decision. You know, once you make a decision, the stress goes. It's the indecisiveness of being in between. You know that this isn't serving you, but you haven't quite got the guts to go this way. But once you just make a decision, okay, because remember, thought, word, deed. So bring that thought, bring it into words. This is why dream boards and affirmations, and just talking about your dreams with a friend, coming to a card reader, for example, to have things confirmed for you. It puts it into word, and then that just gives you that oomph to put it into action. And wands are physical action in the physical world. They are fire, they're transformation. So this is about the joy and the fruition that comes, and he is facing heaven on earth. He's looking up the shores of heaven on earth. So this card is saying, make that decision. This relationship is not going forward with me. This job is not going forward with me. Or it could be a friendship, or it could be a house or a village that you're living in, or it could be a city that's been really getting you down. Cities are not great places sometimes with all that energy going on. So something is happening. But even if you haven't physically taken the action, it's that making a decision in your heart, because that's the two. The three is here to tell you there is fruition and joy and heaven on earth to be had from making that decision. Okay, so that decision, and the ace, of course, is here to tell you it's the right decision, because you're moving forward. You're moving forward into an abundant path, which is the love, the joy, the health, the happiness, and there is financial security there. Oh my goodness, exciting time. Look, yes, she's the most psychic card in the deck. She's the most spiritually aware card in the deck. She's got her fears tethered at her feet. So she has taken numerous leaps of faith in her life, and they don't phase her anymore. She understands. She has an inner knowing. When you have an inner knowing that you're going in the right direction, taking leaps of faith is not a problem. It might involve spending your last few pounds or euros or whatever on setting up in your new area, or maybe you need to spend your last few pounds on getting yourself somewhere to live because you've ended a relationship, but we have this fear because we have this we feel like we need to have a nest egg, we feel like we need to have savings and things like that. So there can sometimes be a fear about spending everything that you've got, which sometimes happens when you're leaving a job, starting up on your own, or when you're leaving a relationship, or when you're moving to a new country, you don't know the language, or you don't know this. It's a financially scary time. So she's just come to reassure you that as long as your vibration is at its highest, you are going to be okay. That's what this card is saying as well. So she's sitting there in her abundance. Absolutely. And she's risen above all this duality. She's doing what she loves. She's well read. She's reading and reading the scriptures. She's reading the scriptures. So to me, this is about understanding like the quantum truths, the universal truths, the laws of the universe. So you understand like the hermetic principles. You understand the importance of your frequency and your vibration. So because when you understand all of that, then it raises you. And then how many times do I hear people say, oh, I just met the right people? I mean, it happened to me this week. I literally was just saying to my husband, because we want to go away, but we normally take the dog with us, but we wanted to go somewhere without the dog. And I literally just said, wouldn't it be lovely if we had a dog carer like in our community? Like really around. The very next client that came to me out of the blue was a dog carer. And this is just a perfect example of how the universe works, and how once you've made this decision, once you've these delays in your mind, it's just your mental cage that's holding you back, but everything's falling into place now because this has been going on for a while. Whatever it is that you're changing and moving on from has been going on for a while. So this is the time to do it. And that's what I started off saying, wasn't it? Major changes, but they're going to be on a more personal, individual level. But we know the outside is created from the inside. So it's going to have a massive impact on the collective. And that's what this card is, because he's creating heaven on earth. He's looking out at the shores of heaven on earth. So every time we make these conscious, positive, self-love orientated choices, the closer we get to creating heaven on earth. Because remember, heaven on earth is within you. It's within you. And when we all tap into it, we create it outside of us. So the more of us can enjoy it. So it's perfect. It's very exciting, isn't it? The last card is the Seven of Pentacles. And this has come to remind you that you have, I want to say money. I know I don't normally, but you have more money than you realize. You do have enough money. You might need less where you're going. I love that quote that says, the richest people are not those with the most money. No, hang on a minute. The richest people are not those with the most. The richest people are those that need the least. So you might just, as you go forward, I'm surprised that the Fool hasn't come up here, of course. But of course, he goes forward with very little because he knows that everything he needs is in his frequency, it's in his hands. Wherever you go, you're taking your frequency with you, and it's your frequency that's going to be bringing in the people that you need. It's your frequency that's going to be bringing in the opportunities and the offers of new jobs, new activities, new ways of making money, new ways of expressing yourself, new ways of expressing your divine gifts. They're going to come in, but you have to take that leap of faith first. Because that's how it works energetically. You need to let go of that in order to be free, in order to be able to get blown upwards, I want to say. Blown upwards, I don't know. To fly, to fly. And then, of course, you've got that other quote from Erin Hansen that says, but what if I fall? And then she says, but hey, what if you fly? You have everything you need. And it's not just money, you have all the understanding. I mean, there might be more things to study, there might be more things to learn, obviously, on your journey, but you have everything that you need. He's reflecting on his stockpile. He has everything that he needs. He has the people that he needs. He has the financial security that he needs. He has the understanding, the knowledge that he needs. He has the experiences that he needs. He definitely has the frequency, the joy, the happiness, the health that you need. Everything that you need, you actually have. It's really super exciting. But you have to remember that it's self-love all the way. Self-love all the way. Every choice has to be which choice is expanding you into higher levels of consciousness all the way. Which choices are making you feel more joy? Follow, make the choices from a place of joy. Listen to your heart, feel your heart. You haven't got to just listen to it, feel it. You can feel it, that when you know that when you go to work or when you're in a relationship, and it can make you really sad. You're going to be leaving jobs that you've been in for ages. You're going to have a cry, of course you are. You know, you're leaving a relationship that you've probably been in for ages. You're going to have a cry, of course you're going to. You're leaving a village that you've been in for ages, or you're leaving something that you've been in for ages. Can also be, and I do want to say this because it's quite important, you've also may have been in a mental cage that you created yourself, because some of you, I think, may have already made these moves, and that the only thing that's been holding you back, the obstacle that's been removed, is the mental cage that you put yourself in, as far as what you expected for yourself, because you were probably trying to follow somebody else's dream for you and not your own. So releasing all your expectations of life and how you think the world should be, how you think your life should be, releasing that. That's a massive cage that we put ourselves in. All this programming on how we've been brought up, how we need to have, you know, certain things, materialistic things. It's a mental cage that we've put ourselves in. So this can also be relevant, and this is also self-love is obviously the way out of that mental cage as well, because if you're feeling restricted in any way, then you're in a state of contraction. So what can you do? How can you think? I'm going to put a link into how to detach from your thoughts, because how can you think? How can you change your thoughts in a way that's going to make you feel expanded and make you feel more self-love? So these major changes that are going on, I think for a lot of you, it's going to be on a mental level. You're releasing the way other people, the way you think you should be in the eyes of other people. Does that resonate with you? Can you let go of the way you think you should be in the eyes of other people? That's what I think you're being asked to do, is to just let go of all of it. And there might be something scary there, but understanding that the real you, will the real you please stand up? The real you is going to come out. And the real us is so divine and such love and such joy and such abundance. You know? So this is very much about releasing the ego and releasing the identity of yourself. What identity have you given yourself? Is it serving you? You know, we have to detach from absolutely everything. Everything that we think about ourselves, we have to detach from. There is a self-realization, I understand. So we want to realize things about ourselves that are going to expand us into greater states and higher levels of consciousness. But there's also a detachment of whatever those beliefs might be. Oh, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I think it's going to be a powerful month. It's going to be a very powerful month of, as I say, change, but the change is going to be within. But when we make these changes within, what's outside of us is going to change, because it has to then resonate with us. And if you're in any doubt, it's just love yourself a little bit more. Make choices from a place of love, because that's who you really are. Wow. I think that's it. Just checking. Yeah. Have a fantastic month. If you want a private reading, please get in touch. If you want some healing along the way with the emotion code, with the body code, with the brain integration, with the past life healing, with the soul profile reading, with any of those services, I'll put a link in the description to my website and you can check any of that out. It might help you on your way. But this is going to be an exciting month. Lots of love to all of you. Love you all. Take care. Have a great month. See you soon. Bye for now.